Racing tips for Doncaster for Sunday the 29th of March. Well, let me get straight into it. So yesterday was terrible. So the first two were dreadful. The third horse called Shout was given a poor ride. Far too much to do. And in my opinion, based on today's selections, I think you're not going to have too much returns if you've got a horse that's held up too far. There didn't seem to be, in my opinion, a great deal come from a long way behind yesterday. It seemed to be the worst position you could, the worst position, or the, yeah, is that right? If you race, you didn't want to be any worse than mid-division, in my opinion, because there wasn't a great deal coming from a long way behind. So let me get into Sunday's selections. So obviously, Shout ran okay out the placings. Then we had Expensive or Explosive Power came fourth in the end, 11-1, and Miners Gamble was backed into favourite, came there going okay, came near side, just stayed on one pace. So it was very poor, next to nothing returned. So I've got some interesting selections today. So what I think that the one thing I did get right was they would come middle to near side. So unfortunately, just couldn't pick the right horses. So today's selections are based on, I'm hoping that, or I believe that there will come more in the middle. I think that most of the race will be down the middle. But you don't quite know how it's going to work out because you don't know what they've done to the track. As in, with them coming near side and middle yesterday, it could be quite churned up. So they might go far side, but I don't think they will do. You might see the group split near side and far side, but I'm taking the view that they will carry on coming down the middle, and they might even edge to near side again, but not quite as much as what they did yesterday. I don't believe there's been any rain overnight. So let me get into it. So it's 6 selections. It's in each way, lucky 63. So the first selection is Rising Force at 8-1 in the 147 at Doncaster. So I really fancy this horse. I fancy it enough to overlook my mention at the beginning of the video. So I did say some horses aren't going to come from too far behind, but I cannot ignore this. So this is the form of Rising Force. It's now trained by John Butler. Robert Edry, the former trainer, now still owns it. Originally he trained it, then it went to, let me just, oh, slight mistake there. I was also looking at another one of Robert Edry's. So it's been trained by John Butler for quite a while now. So what I would say is this is what I'm. Oh, hang on one second. Right, there you go. I'd put it in a different order. So yes, it was trained by Darragh Holland. Yes, it was trained by Robert Edry, as you can see. Sorry. So what I did, I'll put it back to how it was, into jockey order. And I want you to see this for yourself. So it's an apprentice race. So there you can see Mr. H. Callan, and there a bit further up you see Mr. H. Callan. Same person, just obviously it's now claiming 5, claiming 3 and whatever. So look at the runs it's had with this jockey on board. It's the same jockey that rides it today. Second, third of 21, fifth, all right. First, third of 6, first of 8 runners. This clearly is a decent combo, and I think when you do have an apprentice race, it's always decent the fact that they get on well with the horse. So clearly we haven't really got that issue. My only issue really is I just hope he doesn't get it too far behind, because I didn't think there was really picking up yesterday. It's a lot of horses having their first run of the season. Some of my selections weren't having the first run, but they just didn't seem to pick up on the ground. So let me carry on then. So Rising Force is the first selection at 8-1. The second selection is an Outlaw's Grace at 10-1 in the 255 at Doncaster, trained by Richard Hannon. Richard Hannon had the first 2 winners yesterday, the Brocklesby, and then he had the next winner. I think an Outlaw's Grace, I believe it's drawn 4. It races prominently. and I think it will run a good race. It should be up there throughout and hopefully kick on. The third selection is Stanage at 5-1 in the 3:30 at Doncaster. This horse is very well handicapped. It won a division of this last year after not running since a gelding operation and running in November. It was running okay-ish when it finished the season. It ran on heavy ground at Doncaster, beating about 4 lengths, I think, that day. During the middle of the season, it was... so it started running well at the beginning of the season, and then it went to Newmarket. But after that, it ran at courses like Chester, Goodwood and Epsom. I don't think those courses suited it. So it's gradually worked its way down the handicap. And it's £7 lower than winning a division of this race last year. It's trained by Mick Easterby. I've been looking at his recent runners. They've been running okay. Not poorly. They've all not been winning. It's just they're running well enough for me to actually pick this selection first time out. So I think it's an interesting selection. Excuse me. The next selection is Harvey. Unfortunately, it's only 7-2 in the 5-4 at Doncaster. Yeah, there are some horses that aren't particularly that big a price in my bet today, but hopefully they should run a lot better, and hopefully we can get a few winners. But Harvey, it came from France. It's been running around about a mile, sometimes a bit less, sometimes a bit more, on soft ground. It's gone to Ian Williams. Ian Williams has run it twice at Kempton on the all-weather. I'm taking the view that it's not... I think Kempton might be a bit sharp for it. It's back going left-handed. Trained by Ian Williams, like I said. I think Ian Williams is very good at getting horses ready. What I do like is Billy Loughnane rode it last time and he rides it again. And I think Billy Loughnane would have given him all the information of exactly how the horse was last time. Did he absolutely hate Kempton? Was it miles too quick for it? And maybe this has always been the race for it. It is quite decent prize money, so I'm expecting that this horse has been readied for this race. There are still question marks. Even at 7-2, there are a few question marks, but I just think that there's a lot more to come from it. The next section is Dark 30 at 15-2 in the 5:15 at Doncaster. This horse won a race. Won a leg of this. Won a leg of this race last year. It's a horse that races prominently. It's left the Richard Hannon stable and it's gone to the John and Sean Quinn stable. They are very good trainers up north, or trainer combo. Everything's taken on trust, to be fair. We don't know how fit the horse is. It is a horse that races prominently, and I just think it could hopefully improve for the switch of trainers. Yeah, it handles the ground fine. And it has come down in the ratings a fair amount, but I do think it's off a competitive handicap mark. It has gone up recently, but it's still lower than what it was about a year ago. So I still think it's off a competitive mark. So the final selection is probably my most interesting selection. The horse is called Glory Hyde at 16-1 in the 5:50 at Doncaster. This horse ran in one of these legs last year. I think it came about 5th or 6th. Last year it came into the race without a run. This time around it's got the hallmark of giving it a good blowout. So this horse is normally prominent. So I can't remember where it ran. It was on the all-weather, and straight away awkward start. I'm like, oh, okay then. And then basically what it was, it ran from the rear and ran like an encouraging race. I think that was just basically a sharpener. It didn't have the sharpener last year, and it still came, I think, around about 5th or 6th. I think this time around it's had a prep run, and I think it will be a bit sharper than a lot of the other horses have in the first run of the season. So, to be fair, Glory Hyde is mine. When I say nap of the day, it's the most interesting one, and one where I can say it should run its race, because it ran well in this race last year without a prep run. This time it's had a prep run. It should be fitter, should strip fitter than last year. It's a horse that races prominently, which I do think will be a bonus. So I think this ticks more boxes than most of the others. So Glory Hyde is my best bet of the day at 16-1. So I'll be having an each way lucky 63 and also a small each way on all the selections. So I wish you the very best of luck. Charlie Winters, Over and out. Cheers, mate.